More than 200 apartments buildings destroyed from Russians' attack. Were killed a lot of people, civilians, unguilty people. And that's why it's terror attack. And Russians is terror country.
The mayor of Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv described Russia's attacks as a, quote, genocide of the Ukrainian people. New this morning, we are learning at least 4 people were killed overnight when Russia launched Iranian-made Kamikaze drones on the capital city. The strikes targeted civilians, apartment buildings, and key infrastructure. For further insight on the situation, we have retired US Army Major General William Enyart. Thank you for joining us, sir. These Kamikaze drones Russia's using, what are they? And in your opinion, are they effective tactical tools, would you say?
Well, what they are slow and small, relatively small. They only carry somewhere between a 90 and 110-pound warhead. So you're not talking a major explosive device here. And they fly at about 115 miles an hour. Typically, they fly at very low altitudes. So they're relatively easy to shoot down. And in fact, the Ukrainians have had some success in shooting them down. You know, when you look at the casualty numbers, and certainly we hate to see anyone killed, but you're looking at 4 people being killed. So they're not devastating Kyiv.
So this is obviously troubling news. What do you think the impact will be of Russia's increased targeting of both civilian and critical infrastructure?
Well, Russia is attacking the same thing in Ukraine that they're attacking in Western Europe, and that is the energy infrastructure. You know, we've seen them turn off the Nord Stream pipeline. We've seen them cut off natural gas supplies to Europe in the hopes that this would shape Europe's resolve to back Ukraine. And they're using that same weapon against Ukraine. You know, you have a cold continental winter there, think Chicago or Minnesota, and by damaging the energy infrastructure, they hope to essentially freeze the Ukrainians into compliance. I don't think it's going to be successful. These attacks have not had any military impact, really. They haven't destroyed tanks or battalions or soldiers. Instead, they're targeting civilian infrastructure, and it has not at all impacted Ukraine's resurgence in the east and in the southern part of the country.
So today, the European Union is expected to greenlight military training for thousands of Ukrainian troops, as well as provide funding to help those troops purchase new weapons. Do you think this will lead to increased gains on the battlefield?
Well, we've been training the Ukrainians since 1999. I was in Ukraine in 2005, nearly 20 years ago, with soldiers from 22 other, 22 other NATO countries. So we've been training the Ukrainians for years, but obviously the more training they get, particularly in our more sophisticated weapon systems, the anti-air systems, it's going to be better for Ukraine, and they will continue on their winning ways.
So Senator Richard Blumenthal has told The Guardian that he is concerned sensitive U.S. defense technology could be shared with Russia by Saudi Arabia. According to the report, Blumenthal and other D.C. lawmakers see the OPEC decision to cut oil production as a sign that the Saudis are siding with Russia. On Sunday, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the White House will continue to reevaluate its relationship with Saudi Arabia. So what do you think the government should do if it's determined that our defense secrets will be shared with Russia by the Saudis?
Well, clearly then we would need to cut off the Saudis from any further transfers of military technology. We have provided the Saudis with some of our latest and greatest equipment, and that would obviously need to come to a grinding halt. You know, I'm not so sure that the Saudis are supporting Russia as much as they're supporting themselves. They certainly benefit from higher oil prices, and they're lining their own pockets. The fact that it also happens to benefit Russia, I think, is a collateral damage, really.
So we are learning that Belarus will host almost 9,000 Russian troops. This is sparking concerns that Belarus could take more of a direct role in the war. Do you think they will? And if they do you think that will impact the trajectory of the war?
Well, let's remember that the Russians had over 100,000 troops in Belarus back in January and February when they initially launched the attack on Kyiv, on the capital of Ukraine. They get their noses bloodied and pulled back to reinforce in the east and in the south. 8,000 troops is not a whole lot of troops, particularly when you compare it to the over 100,000 that they had before. So it's an order of magnitude higher. The Belarusian military is not very effective. They've only got about 50,000 total in the army and maybe another 20,000 in the Air Force. The army is largely a conscript-based force. That is, they're draftees. They serve 18 months. So they're not very well trained, and they're equipped with old old Soviet-style equipment that dates back decades. So and additionally, they're stationed primarily on the Polish border and in the central part of the country. We haven't seen any big movements on the part of those mechanized brigades down. So I don't think, you have to question, number one, is Putin trying to give a backbone to the Belarusians? Or is he simply doing this as a feint in order to draw Ukrainian attention back to its northern border with Belarus? In either event, the numbers of troops that he's moving are not enough to dramatically impact the war.
All right. Insightful as always. Major General William Enyart, thank you for your time this morning.
My pleasure.
Well, TV production consultant Dmytro Maruchok joins me now live to talk about the situation in Ukraine. You are on the ground in Kyiv. Can you first walk us through what you're seeing and what you're hearing there?
Actually, what you hear, it's almost all the time we hear the sirens, and because Russia is sending the drones and rockets every day. And today in the morning, it was like 28 drones was sent to Kyiv, and almost all of them been shot down, but 5 of them reached the capital. So Kyiv itself, we are trying to leave, and the city is being restored after the last attack, which rocket attack a couple of days ago. These places, like roads, and it is near the university, it was like already restored. Of course, kindergarten. Kids are playing in this kindergarten again. It is a big hole in the ground, but kids are playing there. So we have like no choice. We have to leave. We have to move on. We have to defend our country because it is no other way to survive.
Yeah, well, certainly those images are jarring. So how are Ukrainians coping with these increased attacks? You spoke a little bit about their resilience, but these attacks are happening on civilians and infrastructure. So are there coping mechanisms as of today?
Mainly the infrastructure objects attacked. It is electricity production plants and the transformer stations, and government advised people to save electricity, not to use the powerful supplies during the peak times from 7 in the morning until 11 in the morning, and from 5 in the evening until 11 in the evening. So we advise just to avoid using the powerful electricity supplies on that time, and to do all the major stuff at night. And also, it's still be having some electricity disconnections because the government has to balance the system through the country from one region to another. And what we do today, we have another attack in 3 regions in the western Ukraine, and we have another announcement that maybe this evening and night we're gonna go through another rolling disconnections of the electricity on that regions, or maybe in the others, to balance the system. What we are doing, people have the power banks. We are charging the phones and all stuff. And me personally, I just invested a couple of months ago in the solar stations and the big power battery for my home, because I have everything on the electricity. I don't have any gas supply, so it's just the gas tank outside for if everything will go completely dead. And we are, of course, preparing for the winter. So I live in the suburbs, so people here just preparing the wood to have the wood heaters and everything. Because back in spring, we had, when Russians stayed 500 meters from my home, and so we have no power, we have no heat, and we had to survive somehow. So now we remember how it was, and we are preparing for this winter. But I hope it's going to be better, because We kicked them out of the capital area, and our army is advancing in east and in south. So, and they are not stopping. And of course, it's going to be more and more attacks from Russia, because we know that they ordered from Iran like a couple of thousands of drones, and they now requested from Iran the more rockets with the long range up to 1,000 miles. I heard it's like 300 kilometers, 700 kilometers, and 1,500 kilometers. So Russia requested from Iran. Because of that, today our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they canceled the accreditation for Iranian ambassador, and they ordered to the Iranian embassy to decrease the diplomats in their embassy in Kyiv.
Wow. Well, certainly important to prepare for those changing conditions, colder conditions. We're so happy to see that you're safe, and we really appreciate you joining us this morning. Dmytro Maruchok, TV production consultant, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.